So obviously a fantastic little run of results that's going on. Just tell me about the spirit in the squad and how this week's been.
No, it's been great. In fairness, I know the manager spoke a lot about it and the players speak a lot about it, but it is a special dressing room. Even when we made that little run of games that we didn't win, there wasn't like that negativity for the boys at all. They are very positive, and I think it was just unfortunate the games didn't go. And I think the last few games have just proved how together they are as a group, how together as a club, staff, players, etc. And I think that when you get results, it makes it even better. And again, you can see the spirit there tonight, how much it means. It's always good to score a last-minute goal. But to do it there, it was a tough game. It was obviously a midweek game and we played at the weekend as well, and I think it's just great. Again, run up to the fans, the players, I thought it was a really good moment, and it just kind of shows you how good the boys are as a group.
Yeah, you saw that with it, scoring in the 89th minute. In the circumstances, it's cold, the pitch is not great, but they've still got that desire to get forward, even right to the end. That testament to the effort they put in.
Yeah, no, I mean it was a tough game, and again, even like tactically in the first half, the way they set up caused a few problems. Manager changed it at half time, and we actually got a bit more pressure on the ball, which I think helped. And then obviously the goal comes from us getting pressure on the ball. Ryan presses him down, and then Taylor manages to nick it. And it's really good play for him and Bayliss to then finish. And it's great for Tom to come off the bench, because he's obviously a really good player, and he's been a big part this season. Just to come off and score the winning goal was really good to see. And again, that comes from how hard they work at training as well. They're always ready. We come into the game and they're fresh and they're sharp. And I think you've seen that the other night.
And having the options to give Tom 45 minutes instead of having the full 90, and having the options to change things, I think those fresh legs helped, running forward in the 8th to 9th minute when maybe the opposition are tired.
Definitely. I think obviously it's known that we don't get the biggest of squads, and we've had to exhaust the squad that we've had. The manager said that a number of times. Bringing Killian in gives an extra body in there, and what it's allowed to do is give Tom a little bit more freshness, and he has done that, and I think you can see that. Even though sometimes people may not think it from that point of view, it is good to freshen things up if you can. It's been difficult to do that this season, but because injuries. But then Tom coming on there, I think you can see that, giving us that the freshness for Bowman and the freshness for him coming off the bench, I think was really positive for us.
And obviously Taylor Moore, you played a big part in that goal.
Yep.
Just tell me a little bit about him and the development you've seen over his time while he's been here.
Yeah, I mean the manager, Taylor, first and foremost, Taylor's a really good lad. He's a great professional, great person round about the place. The manager was trying to get him for a long time, and I think the biggest thing with Taylor is he's so utile. He obviously known to being a centre back. He's come in and played centre mid, and then he's obviously went out and played that right wing back position. But I think he's developed so well into there. Even though he played there with Hearts a few times, it wasn't a consistent thing. And I think because he's got the right mindset, the right mentality, he's took things on board. And obviously because Benno was missing and Julian was missing from injury, he just took the opportunity. And I think as the weeks go on, you can see the difference. He's getting further forward, he's more comfortable playing that position, and as you see at the start, you can see a lot of developing in him. And again, he's a very popular member of the team. I think that when he doesn't do well, he accepts that, and he really makes a real effort to change that the next one. I think he did that the other night, just doing that in the last minute of the game, to have that aggression to go and win the ball back when he's already played. The rest of the game, I think, says a lot about him.
There'll be a lot of praise, obviously, for the forward players scoring 10 goals in 3 games, but you've only conceded 1 as well, so that's a big part of it, and the defensive effort that's had to go into that.
Yeah, you think the other night, I think it was Flannel got that block on. There's games before where Marco's made a really important save, or Shea's got a block in, or Pennington's got a block in. So any team's built on your defence, and then what you do from there. And I think they can look at that. We've always looked very solid, which gives you that springboard to go forward. And I say we can't praise him enough for scoring 10 goals in 3 games. It's going to be really hard to do that continuously all the time, but we'll keep working on it. But to have that base at the back, I think, says a lot about the boys.
And the defenders have also contributed going forward. You've had Shea, Matthew, both scoring as well, so they're getting involved at both ends.
The gaffer's always said that, like you want the goals have got to be round the team. I mean, you look at the presence we've got at set plays with guys like Shea, with Penno, and obviously even look when he goes in if he's not taking him, and you've got Flannel. There's definitely a good presence for us, what I think teams worry about, and it came to fruition that we're scoring goals from it.
And you talk about being fresh. How do you keep this momentum now, keep going forward?
Again, like today we'll train. The ones that played more will recover a bit more. The ones that didn't, so you just got to get them back, recover their legs again for the weekend. And the manager will look at things and decide whether we keep it the same or we change it. I think because we're in such a good run, you're not going to change loads of things, but there might be some changes. We just have to wait and see. We just have to assess things today and tomorrow, and then we'll decide what we do for the game against Forest Green, which will be a really hard game. I think some teams will underestimate them, but looking at them, they've been unfortunate to lose games recently. They play really good football, and obviously what they're trying to do as a club we respect, and it just hasn't went for them, but it will be a tough game.
And when you are winning, you are playing well, you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, is that a benefit? Even though you have got a small squad, is it a benefit to just keep that going?
Sometimes. I think it is sometimes, but then there's sometimes you need to get the rest and recovery as well. In this league, it is well known for those 3 game weeks, and it's hard to manage that a lot of the time. You can't train as much, so if the manager wants to do extra work with them, it's quite difficult. So ideally you'd rather go Saturday, but if you do Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday and you win, then obviously we're not going to complain about it. But you need to get that balance, because we don't have a big squad, because we're obviously not massive budget, so we've got to make sure that we work with the squad best we can. So with that in mind, we've got to make sure that we look after them. And again, the staff do a good job, make sure they recover right, making sure they do all the right stuff. They go to the cryo just to make sure they're fresh again for the next game.
Well, finally, as you mentioned, it's Forest Green on Saturday. Currently, as we speak, they haven't got a manager.
Yep.
I mean, there might be someone in later today, tomorrow. But does that make it different to prepare? Because if someone does come in, they're going to want to change things, and it's harder to prepare for that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were do a lot of stuff yesterday in preparation, but then obviously the manager was sacked, and it's never nice for that to happen, and it's difficult. In Forest Green as a club, you can see how they've come on over the years. They've done a fantastic job. They've obviously invested a lot of money in January again there. I think they've brought in about 8 players, which makes it hard to who's going to play. But then to throw in the fact the manager changes, we just don't know. So all we can do is prepare best we can. We know what players they've got. Obviously system-wise, we don't know now because it might be somebody new coming in. There's obviously speculation, but you don't know until it happens. So we've just got to plan, prepare, try and do everything that's going to help us to hopefully win the game. But what we won't do is underestimate them, because they've actually got really good players. The results haven't been there, but performances-wise, when we've looked at the games, they're actually not bad. And I say they have got good players that can hurt you, so we'll take them with a full respect, and we'll just try and get out there and get points.
Perfect, thank you.